Now we are going to discuss how strong are acid or base solutions. Before going in detail about this topic, so far what we have discussed, you came to know by using acid and acid-base indicators, you came to know whether a particular substance is an acid or a base by the change in its color. And also you know, in the process of dilution, there is decrease in the concentration of hydronium ions or hydroxide ions per unit volume. Then you came to know that the acid or a base is said to be diluted and we have converted a concentrated acid to a dilute acid in the process of dilution. So, but you don't know how strong an acid or a base is. Previously, you know only qualitative information about a particular compound. What do you need a qualitative information? You know whether that particular substance is an acid or a base. That's all. That is the earlier information that was given to you by the acid-base indicators, by the changing colors. But quantitatively, it does not have any information. Quantitative information is not given by these acid-base indicators. What do you mean by quantitative analysis or quantitative information? I mean that to know how strong an acid or a base is, how strong an acid or a base is. This information was not given by you in our earlier discussion. Now we are going to study detailing how will we estimate or how will we know how strong an acid or a base is. For studying quantitative information about an acid or a base, we use universal indicator. What is this universal indicator which is in our lab? It is a mixture of several indicators which will show different colors and different concentrations of hydronium ions or hydroxide ions. Suppose if I take HCl acid, concentrated HCl, utmost care should be taken while adding acid to test tube with some precautionary measures and add universal indicator. Suppose if I get some change in color, let us think I got some red color or something. I will match this red color with the standard colors that are given on the universal indicator. Then I will confirm what is the pH of HCl. What is the pH of HCl? Earlier I only know HCl is an acid, but now I know how strong that acid is by using this universal indicator. And there is also a scale for measuring hydronium ion concentration or hydroxide ion concentration with respect to base in solution. That scale is called pH scale. Here, P in pH stands for potence, which is a German word. It means power. It means power of hydronium ion concentration or hydroxide ion concentration in solution. We can measure this pH on pH scale from 0 to 14. This pH value is just simply a number which tells us how strong a particular acid or a base is. For example, high hydronium ion concentration, if you find higher hydronium ion concentration, then the pH value will be low. pH value will be low, and the pH scale ranges from 0 to 14. 0 to 14. 0 is very acidic. 0 is very acidic. 14 is alkaline. 14 is alkaline. And if you move from 7 to 0, you can find increase in hydronium ion concentration. Increase in hydronium ion concentration. That means all acids. If you are moving from 7 to 14, there is a decrease in hydronium ion concentration or increase in hydroxide ion concentration. Here we need this information or this one also. Decrease in hydronium ion concentration or increase in hydroxide ion concentration. As they are moving from 7 to 14, gradually they are becoming very alkaline. And you know what is this pH? This is scale for measuring hydronium ion concentration in solution or hydroxide ion concentration in solution. The P in pH stands for potence, which is a German word. It means power. Whose power? Power of hydronium ion concentration, that is released by acids when dissolved in water. Hydroxide ion concentration, that is released by base when dissolved in water. How strong that particular acid or base is. we can know from universal indicator, and we can also know from this pH values also. This pH, we can measure pH and pH scale from 0 to 14. It is just simply a number which tells us how strong an acid or a base is. High hydronium ion concentration tells us that particular acid has low pH value, and you can see the pH scale ranges from 0 to 14. 0 is very acidic, 7 is neutral, 7 is a neutral, 14 is highly alkaline. The strength of an acid or a base depends upon the concentration of hydronium ions or hydroxide ions produced. For example, if you take 1 molar HCl, 1 molar ethanoic acid or 1 molar acetic acid, both are of same concentration, that is 1 molar and 1 molar. Among this, which is a strong acid? Among this, which is a strong acid? Which is a weak acid? HCl is a strong acid, ethanoic acid is a weak acid. How do you say that? You know, the strength of an acid or a base depends upon the concentration of hydronium ions that is produced in solution. More concentration of hydronium ions are produced, more concentration of hydronium ions are produced in solution. That is a strong acid. That is a strong acid. Less concentration of hydronium ions in solution. Less concentration of hydronium ions in solution. It is a weak acid. It is a weak acid. Moreover, there is also another way of defining how a particular acid is strong or weak, or how can you say in another manner why acid is a strong acid, why acetic acid is a weak acid. Here you can say it very easily. HCl, when dissolved in water, HCl, that is when dissolved in water, completely dissociate into ions. Completely dissociate into ions. You see it. Complete dissociation. Complete dissociation into ions. Complete dissociation into ions. Into ions when HCl is dissolved in water. Whereas this ethanoic acid when dissolved in water, you are getting here also you are getting hydronium ions, but you see here the ethanoic acid is not dissociating completely into ions. Incomplete dissociation of ethanoic acid. Incomplete dissociation of ethanoic acid, which is also responsible for the weak acidic character of ethanoic acid. That is about the. That is how we can define whether 1 molar HCl is strong or 1 molar HCl is 1 molar ethanoic acid is weak. Importance of pH, in everyday life or in everyday life. Regarding that, we are going to discuss. Are animals and plants pH sensitive? Are they really sensitive? Yes. The answer is yes. They are sensitive. Our body works within the pH range of 7 to 7.8. Any changes, that is increasing the pH or decreasing the pH, will result in drastic conditions. And pH of rainwater is when the pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, it is called acid rain. It is called acid rain. When this rainwater reaches river, the pH of the river water decreases and ultimately it results in death of aquatic animals as well as plants. And similarly, then coming to the next topic, pH in our digestive system. As you very well know, the gastric glands are for stomach secrete gastric juice. They consist of, this gastric juice consists of HCl. During indigestion, excess of HCl is produced, which causes a lot of pain and irritation. To control this or to get rid of this HCl, we use antacids. The compound that is generally used in antacids is magnesium hydroxide, MgOH, taken twice. It is a mild base. The reaction that is generally taking place when we take this antacid is magnesium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give magnesium chloride, that is salt, plus water. The effect of acid is neutralized and the effect of acid is nullified or decreased by this base. That is how you get rid of this HCl. Get rid of this HCl and feel relief. Then the pH change is the cause of tooth decay. Our tooth decay starts, our tooth destroying starts when the pH of our mouth is less than 5.5. You know very well, tooth enamel, which is the hardest substance in our body, is made up of calcium sulfate. It is made up of calcium sulfate, calcium hydroxide. Sorry, not calcium sulfate. Tooth enamel is made up of calcium hydroxide, which is a crystalline form of calcium phosphate whose formula is Ca3PO4 taken twice. And to how this tooth enamel is getting damaged, when we don't brush our teeth properly, the food particles that are entangled or that are hidden in between the spaces, in between the teeth, bacteria acts on these food materials. Bacteria acts on the food materials, releases some acids. As you know, what is the pH of acids? It is less than 5.5. On the foul smell, generally after taking a meal, is due to the microbial action on food particles. That's why we should brush our teeth regularly by using a good quality toothpaste, which is generally basic in nature. Using a toothpaste which is generally basic in nature, keep our teeth very healthy. By animals and plants to chemical work. Plants and animals protect themselves from their enemies by secreting or by releasing some chemicals. For example, have you ever been stung by a honeybee? The bite or the stung by of a honeybee is very painful, which injects acid into our skin that is responsible for pain and irritation. Rubbing the affected portion with mild base gives us relief. In case of severity, or in this, if it is severe, we should immediately consult a doctor. Stinging hair of nettle leaves also injects methanoic acid, which is responsible for the burning pain. Rubbing the affected portion with mild base gives us relief. And nature itself has provided a remedy to the burning pain of nettle leaves. That is the dog plant, natural remedy to get rid of this nettle leaves, to get the burning pain that is caused by nettle leaves. The plant that grows side of this plant, that is nettle leaves, nettle plant is a dog plant. You rub this affected portion with a dog plant, you can get relief from the burning sensation that is caused by injecting methanoic acid when the stinging hair of nettle leaves touches our. Today we will be discussing more about salts. In the pH of salts, we have three types of salts here. One is the neutral salt, another one is basic salt, another one is the acidic salt. How do we get these three different types of salts? When you take strong acid, strong base, you will get neutral salt. For example, what is the strong acid that I have taken here? Here, strong acid is HCl, hydrochloric acid. Strong base, sodium hydroxide. When treated with each other, you are getting this. You are getting sodium chloride plus water, that is H2, whose pH is equal to 7. It is a neutral salt. Then the second type of salt is obtained by a combination of weak acid Here the weak acid is ethanoic acid. You already know in the previous classes the weak acid is ethanoic acid. There are so many weak acids. Let us take for understanding this example. Strong base, sodium hydroxide is a strong base. Then you are getting sodium acetate. You are getting sodium acetate plus water. Here I can show you this reaction. Sodium acetate CH3C COO Na CH3COO Na HHO, that is H2O. What is the name of this CH3COO Na? Na sodium, CH3COO acetate, sodium acetate. Its pH is greater than 7 because it is a basic salt. Another type of salt is obtained by a combination of strong acid, aqueous, weak base, ammonium hydroxide. We are getting acidic salt. That is ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride plus water. Here you can see NH4Cl plus H2O. We obtain so many chemicals from common salt. Before we are going to discuss this in detail about the chemicals that are obtained from common salt, we need to have some preliminary idea about our sodium chloride. Seawater, which is containing so many dissolved salts in it. As you already know from your previous classes, sodium chloride is extracted or separated out from this dissolved salts by a process called evaporation. Sodium chloride NaCl, that is also called common salt or table salt. And we also can find deposits of solid salt in several parts of the world. They are found as large crystals. They are brown due to impurities present in them. That salt is called as rock salt. And you already know from our previous discussion that sodium hydroxide, when treated with hydrochloric acid, you are getting sodium chloride plus water. This reaction is called neutralization reaction. And now we come to the discussion of common salt, a raw material for chemicals. This common salt is a raw material for producing several chemicals. Now, in that discussion, first we are discussing chlor-alkali process. What is this chlor-alkali process? When electricity is passed through, please remember here, when electricity is a process called electrolysis, when electricity is passed through aqueous solution of sodium chloride, that is called brine. Aqueous solution of sodium chloride is called brine. When electricity is passed through aqueous solution of sodium chloride, we are getting sodium hydroxide, chlorine gas, hydrogen gas. This sodium hydroxide obtained at cathode, hydrogen gas also obtained at cathode, chlorine gas is obtained at anode. And these chemicals that are produced as a products in the process of electrolysis of aqueous solution of sodium chloride, that is called brine. These chemicals are used as a raw materials for producing several other chemical substances or several other chemical compounds. For example, you can see that the chlorine gas used formed by Cl2, that is liberated, is used in the manufacture of bleaching powder. When chlorine gas is passed through dry slaked lime, that is called calcium hydroxide, you are getting CaOCl2, that is called bleaching powder. So far we have discussed pH of salts. What is the power of hydronium ion concentration? If it is acidic salt, we say power of hydronium ion concentration. If it is basic salt, we say power of hydroxide ion concentration. We got three types of salt. One is here neutron salt, Here we got basic salt, here we got acidic salt. How do you get neutral salt? You take strong acid, strong base. How do you get basic salt? You take weak acid, strong base. Whose pH is greater than 7? In the above case, pH is equal to 7 because it is a neutral salt. Here you got pH is less than 7 because it is acidic salt. And we already know, very important point here, the deposits of solid salt are found in various parts of the world, and this salt is often brown due to presence of some impurities. That is called rock salt. We also can find salt in different colors. If you go through some newspapers and all, previous newspapers, you can find excellent information about different colors that we find in salt. And we also discussed what is the process involved in the preparation of several other compounds, or where sodium chloride or where common salt is used as a raw material for several other chemicals. You know, when electricity, please remember here, when electricity is passed through aqueous solution of sodium chloride, we are getting sodium hydroxide NaOH at cathode, chlorine gas at anode, hydrogen gas at cathode. This process is called chlor-alkali process. Chlor for chlorine, alkali for sodium hydroxide. This compound, this products that you got here is used as a starting materials for producing various other compounds. Chlorine gas when reacted with calcium hydroxide or dry slaked lime, commonly called dry slaked lime, name is calcium hydroxide, you are getting bleaching powder. Common salt, which is a raw material for several chemicals. Earlier we have discussed about the preparation of bleaching powder. You know, the bleaching powder whose chemical composition is quite complex and now represented as CaOCl3 in our textbook. And you have seen the earlier preparation: calcium hydroxide, dry slaked lime or calcium hydroxide reacts with chlorine gas to give calcium oxychloride. Calcium oxychloride, also known as bleaching powder commonly. What are its uses? It is used for bleaching cotton, linen, wood pulp, cotton and linen in textile industry, wood pulp in paper industries, for bleaching washed clothes in laundries. It is added to drinking water in calculated amounts to kill any disease-causing organisms or disease-causing germs, and it is used as an oxidizing agent in several industries. Those are the uses of bleaching powder. And the next chemical that we obtain from common salt is baking soda. Here you see here sodium chloride. Sodium chloride reacts with water, carbon dioxide gas, ammonia to give ammonium chloride. Sodium hydrogen carbonate. It is generally added to food items in the process of cooking to make tasty, crispy pakoras and to make the cooking very faster. It is generally added. In the process of cooking, when heated, this is the following reaction taking place. Sodium hydrogen carbonate. In the process of cooking, when we heat, we can see these are the products obtained. We are ending up with sodium carbonate, water, carbon dioxide gas. It is a mild, non-corrosive basic salt. And you know what is its pH? Its pH will be greater than 7 because it is a basic salt. It is a mild, non-corrosive basic salt whose pH is greater than 7. So, for making crispy pakoras and for faster cooking, generally we add this baking soda. In the process of this cooking, when we heat, this is the following reaction. And what are its uses? It is used for making baking powder. What is this baking powder? This baking powder is a mixture of baking soda. What is the formula of baking soda? This is the formula of baking soda. It is a mixture of baking soda and tartaric acid. Please remember here that acid is a mildly edible acid. It is not a strong acid. Edible means which is mixed with food items. When in the process of adding baking powder to food items or when dissolved in water, or when heated, when dissolved in water or heated, when dissolved in water or heated, and this H plus comes from any acid, here it is a tartaric acid. This H plus ion comes from this tartaric acid. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, H plus ion from any acid, when dissolved in water or heated, you can see this carbon dioxide gas is released. This carbon dioxide gas is released plus water plus sodium salt of acid. This carbon dioxide gas that is released when baking powder is heated or mixed with water is responsible for making the cakes so soft and spongy. This carbon dioxide gas escaped through pores and made the cakes very soft and spongy. You can see fine pores when you eat a cake or when you eat some bun or when you eat bread. These fine pores are all due to the escape of carbon dioxide gas when this baking powder is mixed with water or when it is heated. And you already know what is the baking powder. Baking powder is a mixture of baking soda plus tartaric acid. Tartaric acid is a mild edible acid. And what are its uses? Important uses here is it is an ingredient in antacid. You know, gastric glands of our stomach secrete HCl. During indigestion, HCl is released in excess amounts which causes a lot of pain and irritation. To get rid of this, we use antacids. This sodium hydrogen carbonate is also an ingredient in antacids because it is an alkaline. As it is alkaline, whose pH is greater than 7, it can neutralize excess acid. It neutralizes, it nullifies the effect of HCl. It neutralizes the excess acid that is produced or that is secreted by the gastric glands of our stomach. You see the following reaction is very important here. Sodium hydrogen carbonate reacts with HCl to give here sodium chloride, water plus carbon dioxide gas. This is how excess of acid is neutralized by this sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is alkaline and whose pH is greater than 7, and you know pH is less than 7. Base, acid, salt, water plus carbon dioxide gas. Earlier we have discussed what happens in the process of adding metal carbonates or metal hydrogen carbonates to acids. We have got 3 products there: sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide gas. And very important one, it is used in soda acid 5 extinguisher. The name itself is telling us that sodium hydrogen carbonate, acid H2SO4. When these two are mixed with each other, whenever there is an accident of fire, whenever fire accidents happen, these two mixes with each other and release carbon dioxide gas. Already you know this carbon dioxide gas is a bad supporter of combustion. It never supports burning. It is used as an extinguisher, fire extinguisher. And here you can see, if you see how I am writing, how to write the formulas of sodium hydrogen carbonate. NaOH+1 bicarbonate ion, bicarbonate radical. What is the charge carried by bicarbonate radical? -1. This cross this, exchange this, NaHCO3. Earlier there, calcium hydroxide, Ca+2, OH-1. What you are getting here? Ca, enclose OH in brackets. Ca will get one, OH enclosed in brackets, and write this. We have to enclose this OH radical in brackets and write that number as the subscript. This is the chemical molecular formula of calcium hydroxide. Another chemical substance or another chemical compound that is obtained from common salt is the washing soda, whose molecular formula is sodium Na2CO3 10H2. That is sodium carbonate decahydrate. Sodium carbonate that is obtained by heating sodium hydrogen carbonate. Here, on heating this sodium hydrogen carbonate, we are getting sodium carbonate. On heating sodium hydrogen carbonate, we got sodium carbonate. Recrystallization of sodium carbonate, that is adding water molecules to sodium carbonate, that is obtained on heating sodium hydrogen carbonate. That is obtained on heating sodium hydrogen carbonate gives to sodium carbonate decahydrate. It is a basic salt. And its pH is greater than 7. What are the uses of this washing soda or sodium carbonate decahydrate? It is used in glass, soap, paper industries to manufacture borax powder. It is used as a cleaning agent for domestic purposes, that is household purposes, for removing permanent hardness in water. You know, if the water is having permanent hardness, such a water is unfit for bathing and washing. So to remove this permanent hardness, they use this washing soda. And the last topic that we are going to discuss in this lesson is, are the crystals of salts really dry? We have several salts in our lab, that is copper sulfate, Cu, copper sulfate pentahydrate, sodium carbonate decahydrate, deca means 10, calcium sulfate dihydrate, di means 2. All these salts are there. As they are possessing water molecules, as water molecules are present in them, don't think that they are wet. They are really dry. Please. What is this fixed number of water molecules is telling us? What is this 5H2O? What is this 10H2O? What is this 2H2O? They are nothing but water of crystallization. This indicates water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? Fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of salt. Fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of salt. Here you see how many water molecules are there? 5. Here how many water molecules? 10. Here 2H2O. This fixed number of water molecules present in, for example, copper sulfate 5 water molecules, sodium carbonate 10 water molecules, calcium sulfate 2 water molecules. That is called water of crystallization. And we have very important discussion now. That is with special reference to gypsum. We need to discuss very important point about gypsum. Gypsum, whose formula is calcium sulfate dihydrate, CaSO4 2H2O. On heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin, you are getting calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hemi means half water molecules. Hemihydrate, that is called plaster of Paris plus 1.5 water molecule. This plaster of Paris, this is a very important reaction here. This plaster of Paris is a white powder which is used by doctors to support the fractured bones in a correct position. This plaster of Paris, which is a white powder, when mixed with water, becomes a solid mass, that is called gypsum. This above reaction is not given above, just is mentioned theoretically. I have just shown it in terms of equations. I have just shown it in terms of reaction. You need not worry. This is a very important one. Plaster of Paris, which is a white powder, and mixing with water becomes a hard solid mass, that is called gypsum. This plaster of Paris is used in making toys, statues, etc. Plaster of Paris, whose formula is CaSO4 that is also called calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Is it correct way to represent this plaster of Paris in this manner? It is not correct, because atoms can't be fractional or the compounds can't be fractional. We can't get half, 1.5 like that. So how to write the correct formula? of Paris. Plaster of Paris, and as you already know, what is the chemical formula of gypsum or what is the molecular formula of gypsum? CaSO4 2H2, calcium sulfate dihydrate. Calcium sulfate dihydrate. This is a gypsum. So what is my point here is, can half water molecule exist? It is not possible. Then how to write the formula of plaster of Paris? That is, just take two there. That is, two formula units of calcium sulfate share one molecule of water. This is the correct way of writing plaster of Paris. Rather than this, if you write this also correct, but this is very correct. This is an apt one.